Show their appreciation by putting on a heck of a show. Tonight is sure to deliver more of the same bumping and banging, scraping and sliding we've come to expect from one of the most exciting races of the year. Welcome into our Race Day studio, everybody. I'm John Roberts, and we are joined by two-time series champion Todd Bodine, driver Phil Parsons. And Phil, if there's any indication from these preliminary races, we're in for a great evening.
Without a doubt. Look at the talent throughout this field. As a matter of fact, in our last chance qualifier that just ended, we had three guys that have won races this year in the Truck Series, all had to try to make it in through the last chance qualifier. Our point leader, guy that won the most races of anybody this year, had to take a provisional to make this field.
And you know what, Phil? We've got 7 guys that came to this race, dirt ringers, that we considered the best of the best on dirt, and only 3 of them didn't make this race. So we got 4 of those guys trying to knock off these NASCAR guys and take that shovel home.
And make a name for themselves.
And make a name, just like Christopher Bell did.
That's right.
It hadn't really happened before, but we could see it again. We could see it happen this time around. Now, we brought in our own dirt ringers for tonight's broadcast. Hermie Sadler, who do you have joining you in the pits tonight?
It's a special night, Johnny. We're on the dirt in Eldora for the Camping World Truck Series. So to make it what it needs to be for the people watching at home, we've got our dirt experts, Kenny Wallace, Christopher Bell. Kenny, I'll start with you. You just, a few minutes ago, finished racing on this racetrack. So based on what you learned, why should people tune into this race tonight?
Oh, I got a great story. So we just got done running 5th, but when they dropped the green flag for our 5,000 to win 20 lapper, I went into turn 1 and I slid up a little bit. Taylor Cook in the 21, he came down. We hit. No big deal. No cautions. I finished 5th. I get out of my car. Kid comes over, chews my butt out, says, "Oh, I know you got to do that TV and everything, but thanks for the clean drive." And I said, "Taylor, we hit a little bit." Here's the moral of the story. That's going to happen tonight. There's going to be a lot of hurt feelings. People are going to try to slide job. They're going to hit each other, and there's going to be, well, maybe some beer drinking later on.
And somebody's going to get a trophy. Christopher Bell, people that watch our series all the time on FS1, they're going to see some drivers, hear some names tonight that they don't normally hear running in this series. Tell them somebody tonight they may want to watch out for that could shake things up and maybe go to victory lane tonight.
Well, Hermie, this event has always been really special to me because it's the event that put my name on the NASCAR map. Tonight, I got my eyes on Logan Seavey. He's a guy who's came up through the Keith Kunz Motorsports ranks, just like myself and Kyle Larson. He's the guy I'm watching tonight.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to have everything covered from down in the pits where we get down and dirty. Right, Kenny? Y'all guys do not want to leave FS1 tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of beating and banging.
Come on.
Let's go.
You shouldn't hit me so hard. I don't like you now.
And certainly one of the great things about this, guys, is when you look at what they're doing down there, they're beating and banging, but they also don't have the same kind of control over their trucks they normally do.
No, and that's what makes it fun at Eldora. You slide in there, and you don't know if you're going to slide up or spin out or run into the guy.
Don't worry about yourself.
Yeah, and you just go out there and you have fun. I mean, I can't imagine. I never raced dirt, but I know they got to be having a blast.
They look like they're totally out of control to me.
Yeah, not just the broadcasters, but also the trucks.
Oh, you were talking about the trucks.
Yeah, the trucks as well,
yeah.
Bill. Well, let's take a look at the playoff standings and see who is where as we head into this. As time is running out, you see your winners in the yellow. You also see Matt Crafton as the last driver in, Myatt Snyder as the first driver out. We spoke all season long about the bad luck that Ben Rhodes had been having on the racetrack. We said it would all be erased with a win, and Phil, that's exactly what happens. All that bad luck is behind him now. He's in the playoffs.
Yeah, without a doubt. And he said, now we're going to concentrate on getting more wins, getting more playoff points. So the pressure is off those guys for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it's a shame what Stuart Friesen was on his way, we thought, to win in his first race. He's been strong 1.5 miles all year, made a rookie mistake on pit road, stalling the truck, and you know, he shouldn't, if he had another 1.5 seconds right there, and he came out 1.5 seconds behind Matt, or behind Ben. So that's what cost him that race, and it was a shame.
Yeah, and time is simply running out before we have that playoff cutoff. Only 4 races to go, and that includes this special one tonight. Now, still to come on race day, we told you that Eldora is a huge race for the drivers, but why? Our past winners try to explain why racing and winning at Eldora is so special.
I've ran at Eldora more than any other racetrack in the world, and I've been so close to winning at Eldora, but I've never been able to win there until the truck race. It's Eldora. Like, that's the bottom line. It's Eldora.
Welcome back to Race Day, everybody. This race is not just special because it's different. It is one of the most coveted trophies anywhere because it is one of a kind during the NASCAR season. For over 50 years, Eldora Speedway has been one of the most prestigious dirt tracks in the entire country. The past 5 years of truck races have seen some of the world's greatest dirt racers try to wheel a truck around this half-mile track. But every time it's been the NASCAR regulars who leave with the golden shovel. So what makes Eldora so special?
If you talk about dirt racing, you will always hear at the top of the list Eldora.
Because it's different, you know, it's way different. Aggressive banking, you can run from top to bottom.
I'm still surprised to this day that I've won there.
It's Eldora. Like, that's the bottom line. It's Eldora.
Who will survive to win here?
Well, it's something totally different than what you see every weekend. We're running on dirt.
You are the freaking man, buddy.
Well, I think it was really cool. It was the inaugural win at Eldora.
And Austin Dillon will win NASCAR's return to dirt here at the Eldora Speedway.
And I got to take a picture with Richard Petty afterwards. He was the one that had won on dirt before that, so that was pretty cool.
A healthy lead and what could be a huge win for Darrell Wallace Jr.
Being in the lead and coming across the start-finish line, coming out of turn 4, knowing, like, did we really just win? I could probably same pitch and same everything. Eldora, really? Are you kidding me?
Holy cow! Eldora! No way!
To win there, holy cow, that's huge.
I've ran at Eldora more than any other racetrack in the world, and I've been so close to winning at Eldora, but I've never been able to win there until the truck race.
Here comes Pierce, the slide job. Bell into the wall, can't get there. Christopher Bell wins his first NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Eldora.
It's Eldora, and it's really special.
A few years ago, it was heartbreak. Tonight, he bounces back from a penalty to win at Eldora.
I had a lot of fun. We got a flat, I went a lap down, got our lap back, and cruised right to the front just because there was a lot of options of racing lines.
I've been bugging him for 3 years to get this thing with some moisture in it, and he did, and it was fun.
Matt Crafton's trying to turn around a dismal season, and he's charging to the front.
We were fast right at the end. We won the first segment, and I knew we had a shot at winning the thing. And then at the end, I found some spots on the racetrack where I started making up a ton of ground.
No one is going to challenge Matt Crafton. The winless streak is over. It's been 27 races, and tonight he will go to victory lane, winning at the Big E.
I've won on a mile and a half. I've won on short tracks. It's one of those things that was on the bucket list that I wanted to be able to say I won at the dirt track as well.
Yeah, that's got to be way up there on the list for some of these drivers to make such an accomplishment. But, you know, it kind of reminds us of about, 10, 15 years ago, Phil, when we had some of these road course ringers come to the Cup races. It's very cool to see different names behind the wheels of these trucks.
Yeah, it really is. Todd mentioned that we had 7 dirt ringers come to this race. 4 of them will make the race tonight. And I think a dirt track ringer makes more difference than a road course ringer, because I think a driver can make more difference on a dirt track than a driver can on a road course.
Well, that's exactly what Mike Hillman Jr. and Marcus Richmond told me when we did that interview, that they didn't think it was how good a truck they built or how good their setup was. They felt like it was how good their driver was. And a dirt driver is going to have an advantage reading the racetrack, understanding that, and where to race and the line to take. So it's definitely an advantage.
And that is another reason why the drivers love it so much. It's back in their hands. Now, one guy who could fall into both the Dirt Ringer and Truck Series regular categories is Stuart Friesen. Hermie?
Well, John, we got Stuart Friesen, always a favorite. You have a lot of dirt experience, but how different, or what kind of different style does it take to compete in a truck on dirt compared to what you normally run?
Well, you know, we're taking a vehicle that's purpose-built for, you know, mile and a halves and high-speed speedways and trying to run on this little dirt track. So there's a lot of challenges to it, and, you know, we were just talking, it's tough because it's never going to feel good. You know, doesn't give you that warm fuzzy feeling like a modified or a sprint car or something when you're dialed in. So we just got to make sure we make the right adjustments and then, you know, watch the track. And as the track changes throughout the 150 laps tonight, we're in, you know, the right spot at the right time.
How big would a win at Eldora in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series be to you?
Oh, it'd be huge. A win anywhere at this point in the season, you know, would be huge. But you know, there's a lot of hype behind us for this race, so we're just trying to do our best.
That's Stuart Friesen, John.
Hermie, thank you very much. And as we saw last season, not only can this win be a huge milestone victory for one of these drivers, it could also make their season, Todd. Because remember, if you haven't won yet, you win here, you're in the playoffs.
Well, it's Eldora. Everybody wants to win. But yeah, you're right, JR. To win your way into the playoffs is huge. But you know, we looked at Stuart Friesen. He talked about that warm, fuzzy feeling he has at dirt in his modifieds. Well, he's had that all year on these mile and a half. So for him to come here at Eldora at dirt, which he considers home, he's got to be riding high in a lot of confidence.
Yeah, maybe warm, fuzzy, and dirty at the same time. We've seen a lot of great racing already tonight, and the main event hasn't even started yet. When race day returns, we'll get you all caught up on the race to get you into the race and show you where everyone rolls off later tonight. Stick around, everybody. Welcome back to race day, everybody. It's Eldora, and we are counting down to the command to start the engines a little bit more than 12 minutes away. With that in mind, let's take a look at the starting grid, see who will race and who will start where when the green flag waves. It is Ben Rhodes in the top starting position with Todd Gilliland on the front row.
Guys, let's keep our eye on Chase Briscoe. Remember the last time he was in a truck, it was at Homestead last year, and he went to victory lane. A strong dirt background. He is going to be a guy to watch tonight.
And ladies and gentlemen, starting in 29th position, our points leader and four-time race winner, Johnny Sauter. Boy, you don't get to hear that every day.
That can't be right.
A provisional for Sauter.
It's right. If anyone knows how to get around this track, it's last year's winner just a little while ago. He talked with Hermie Sadler.
Well, John, you're right. This is Matt Crafton, defending race winner at this racetrack. You used this race last year to snap a losing streak. What are the odds of you doing that again tonight?
Got to survive. At the end of this day, I mean, you watch them, they tear up a lot of stuff. You got to be there at the end. First segment, we were really good last year. Second segment, made the wrong adjustments. And then last segment, I just waited to have something at the end and found the right place to be on the racetrack. And hopefully we can do that tonight and put this Ford F-150 in victory lane.
And you've turned into somewhat of a dirt racer aficionado. Got your late model and dirt car. And how much racing have you been doing?
I've raced a fair amount this year. I raced more last year, but the Summer Nationals, I was going to run a bunch of them this year. They rained so many of them out, the ones that I was going to go to, so it killed me there. But all in all, I have fun. It's so much fun doing it and just get to relax. And there's a lot of pressure in the trucks. That's what I mean. That's our day job. And then you get to go have fun, just lay your hair down, and whatever happens to these. But at the end of the day, you definitely wanted to come home with a trophy. I haven't won a main event in one of these, if that says anything to you. These dirt guys and these modifieds are very, very tough. So that's next on my bucket list.
Crafton won his qualifier. He'll be strong tonight, John.
Yeah, you can bet on that, Hermie. And, you know, he really hits it on the head when he says how difficult these things are to drive. But, you know, Todd, last season, at this point, this race changed the season for Matt Crafton. Could it happen again?
I think it could. He was fantastic in practice. He won his heat race. He's looked good all weekend. And, you know, he's got a lot of dirt experience now with this modified. And right now, him and Junior Joyner are really hitting their stride. The last couple of races, they've been really good, running up front, consistent, not making mistakes. I think they got a good shot tonight.
Todd, what really turned their season around was, as John mentioned last year, winning this race. But what Junior Joyner told me earlier today that turned their dirt track program around was they stopped treating that truck like a dirt car. They started treating that truck like a truck.
Well, that's a good thing because it's a truck.
Yes, exactly it is. And they're going to be beating and banging like they do all season long, except tonight it is on the dirt. There is nothing quite like Eldora and nothing quite like this dirt derby. We're counting down to the command. Stay with us, everybody. It's one of the most anticipated nights in NASCAR, dirt racing at Eldora, and one of the most coveted trophies you can win all season long because this is one of a kind. For the pre-race activities, let's get you to the racetrack at Eldora.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask at this time that you please rise and remove your hats as the Rossburg Volunteer Fire Department presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as lead pastor Chris Heckerman from Ginghamburg's Church in Tip City, Ohio, offers today's invocation.
Let's pray, friends. Almighty God, we give you thanks for the gift of racing and the thrill it brings to our lives. We thank you for the racing family, the strength, courage, and joy we receive. We thank you for the gift of prayer, because tonight we know we need your protection just like we do every day. Give us a safe time, a fun time, and God, would you bless America as we seek to be a better blessing to the world? It's in Jesus' name we pray, the one who came not to be our co-pilot, but to sit in the driver's seat. Everybody said, amen. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome graduate of the Jacobs School of Music. He's an Eldora fan favorite from Bloomington, Indiana, Rusty Shields.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling low, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So, Todd, these racers are thinking about a good friend tonight.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my buddy. A lot of people in the garage area love this guy, Buddy Cisco. Not feeling that well, went to Eldora to be Ty's crew chief and ended up in the hospital. But, Buddy, we're thinking about you, pal.
So, Phil, who's going to win this thing?
Well, I mean, it's really a crapshoot, but it's going to be a Friesen Crafton battle, I think, to the end.
Yes, and it'll be a lot of beating and banging along the way. Thanks for joining us for Race Day, everybody. Let's go to Vince Welch.
Well, the road map says you are in the middle of nowhere, but believe me, you're in the right place. You're at Eldora for the Dirt Derby. Some come here feeling pressure, but not Ben Rhodes. He won last week at Kentucky, and that victory locked up a playoff spot and relieved the attention of coming here. And tonight, he won the pole and his qualifying race. No driver carries more expectation than Stuart Friesen. After last year's performance of leading the most laps and finishing runner-up, he's the favorite tonight to get his first career win in the Truck Series. Matt Crafton has been to victory lane plenty, including this race 1 year ago. No celebration since, however. Now Crafton finds himself on the playoff bubble. Needs another strong run tonight. Off to a good start. He won his qualifying race. And some are familiar with the dirt, and then there are those like Todd Gilliland walking into a completely new challenge here at Eldora. His first time here with expectations unknown, but he's been impressive. He won his qualifying race earlier today. So many different storylines, and it seems a different challenge for every driver. For more, here's Hermie Sadler.
Thank you, Vince. You know, Johnny Sauter's had a lot of fun this year. 4 wins already, if you ask most people, one of our championship favorites. But he is not having fun on the dirt at Eldora. He told me just a moment ago, I just don't know how I can be this bad at this racetrack. He'll start 29th. This is his 6th start at this racetrack. His best finish is 8th. I said, why is it important? He said, because we know how important momentum is. I need to build on something to take me towards a championship. Kenny Wallace.
Hermie, it was the great Dale Earnhardt Sr. that said to me, Herman, there are thousands of great race car drivers all over the United States. They all can't be NASCAR. So this kid right here, the high side tickler, Kyle Strickler, gathered some money up. This is his shot at fame. He wins all over the United States. He could be NASCAR in the big time. but this is his night. He hopes to shine. He's great. He's got great car control. Watch him to dig hard. Christopher, who do you got?
Dirt ringers. Could a dirt ringer get it done today? A guy that I got my eye on, driver of the number 51, Logan Seavey. He's a guy who came up through the dirt ranks just like myself in the Keith Kunz Motorsports camp. I think Logan might be able to get it done here tonight.
Thank you, Christopher. And I tell you what, with Kenny Wallace down there, Christopher Bell alongside, and happy to have Kyle Larson up here with us. The credentials are strong, and we are looking forward to a great show tonight. Got all the areas covered for you, that's for sure. Great to have you with us as well, along with Michael Waltrip, and as mentioned, Kyle Larson, fresh off that World of Outlaws win last night at Lernerville. Congratulations. Hey, tonight in the truck, you're a former winner here at Eldora. Would you rather be a dirt guy new to the truck or a truck guy new to the dirt?
Well, I don't know. You know, the pavement guys, so you can call them, have done a really good job tonight. You know, Todd Gillen there in his heat race driving by Logan Seavey, I thought that was really impressive. So I honestly don't know. You know, it's gotten so slick and smooth. It's kind of gone more away from a dirt, track style. So these pavement guys might be able to give these dirt guys a run for their money.
I tell you what has surprised me, the speed of John Hunter Nemechek, because that truck is tore all to pieces. He's got silver duct tape all over it. He's going to be starting deep in the field. He had to go through the last chance qualifier, but this truck can win the race. He's a trucker. Another guy that I think is going to be really tough tonight is Chase Briscoe. He's a hybrid. He's raced in the trucks, and he's a dirt racer from the past. So there's so many great stories like the boys down on pit road were saying. But the main thing to me, Kyle, is what's this track going to do? These officials have been working on it all day long. How will it race tonight?
Well, yeah, they've worked on it quite a bit after qualifying. Got it prepped up for the heat races. Did a great job having it racy for that. And then, as you can see right now, it's just really slick. Really getting black. Not much to lean on up top. And normally they do some track prep before the main event here, and it doesn't look like they've done any of that. So the drivers got what they got. It was really racy there in the LCQ. John Hunter was able to fall back, get back to the lead, and do a good job. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be a long 150 laps, but a lot of fun.
We just saw that track. And from what you saw of it, where are you going to go at the start of this race?
Well, everybody knows me, and I love the high side, so I'd be up there leaning against the wall. John Hunter was able to make it work, was really smooth up there, so I would be looking at the top. But if you're back there in traffic, you kind of just have to go wherever you can. Anywhere somebody else goes, you got to go somewhere different. So that would be the tough part, is trying to figure out where to go. But I'm committed to the top.
No, we're going to look forward to it. Somebody's going to be in that wall, that's for sure. 32 drivers waiting the command, and it's coming now.
All right, race fans, it is time to give the command the most famous words in racing, and to do so, we're going to hand the mic over to the most famous race promoter in the world, Mr. Humpy Wheeler.
Thank you, and here in beautiful Ohio, birthplace of the Wright brothers and the fabulous Tracy, I want to welcome you and also thank Roger Slack and Tony Stewart for putting on this great show. And I will say, drivers, please start your engines.
Eldora, 5 different winners. Who's going to take home the golden shovel tonight? The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on dirt.
Just putting the finishing touches on this racetrack.
One of America's iconic racetracks. This is Eldora. Look at that view.
Big crash, turn 3.
A lot of damage. Oh, spins him around. Tonight, he will go to victory lane, winning at the Big E. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on dirt. One of America's iconic racetracks. Yes, this is Eldora.
Green flag in the air, and the Eldora Dirt Derby is underway.
Christopher Bell going to challenge Matt Crafton. He will go to victory lane, winning at the Big E. Everybody wants the golden shovel, and someone will win it tonight. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Eldora. It's the Dirt Derby. A picture-perfect evening from Rossburg, Ohio. 32 trucks lined up, and it has been a perfect day today with qualifying. Ben Rhodes, the fast qualifier. 5 qualifying races helped set the lineup for this race tonight. And Rhodes and rookie Todd Gilliland will start on the front row. So familiar to dirt racing fans around the world, the 4-wide salute. What a beautiful facility built by Earl Baltus back in the early 50s. Purchased by Tony Stuart in 2004. So many upgrades done to it. It is one of the finest dirt track racing facilities in America. And if you've never been here, you need to put it on your bucket list.
Vince, we do a lot of races and see a lot of races during the year. This puts cold chills down my back. I mean, I just love coming to Eldora, seeing the energy of the fans and how much NASCAR looks forward to this evening. It's a great night.
Kyle, what's it like to be seeing it from this angle instead of down there behind the wheel?
I was just thinking, I mean, I can't, you know, I guess I've been to some outlaw races where I'm not racing and I'm watching. I can see the 4-wide, but never with a field this big. So that was a cool sight there, you know, 4-wide with 32 trucks. So I'm excited about this thing. I think we're going to see some great racing.
Let's take a look at our Camping World track description. And we'll do that immediately after we check out our starting lineups. Of course, as mentioned, led by Ben Rhodes and Todd Gilliland. Rhodes was the fast qualifier. Chase Briscoe and Matt Crafton also qualifying race winners, as was Stuart Friesen.
Sheldon Creed, he's known to be on the gas. And there's Big Daddy, Chris Windham. He could take that thing to victory lane tonight.
Nick Hoffman in row 7, he'll be one to watch. Dirt modified guy, late model guy.
What about Max McLaughlin? I raced against his dad.
Yeah, Mac's been doing a good job in the big blocks also. So curious to see how he can charge up to the front here.
Noah Gregson will be strong. Tanner Thorson as well had a good qualifying race.
Saw Johnny Sauter starting all the way back there in row 15. Very uncharacteristic of Sauter, but he admits this is not his style of racing. Camping World track description. Here at Eldora, it is unique.
It is unique and it's fast. Kyle, you've raced here, you've won here. What's the most interesting part about this layout?
Well, you know, it's high bank, progressive banking, slick surface. You know, the wall will reach out and grab you, especially off turn 2. We've seen that a couple times throughout the night. So as this dirt gets pushed up closer and closer to the wall, I think you're going to see some mistakes happen. So long race, got to be patient, got to be smooth, but aggressive at the same time.
Show Rotella, race analysis.
You can see we have 3 stages, 150 laps, 40, 50, 60 are our stages. And last year, Matt Crafton drove to victory lane, and we've got the privilege of riding along with Matt tonight. We're going to look at those onboards in a bit and what views these are. How about Daytona 500 champion Ryan Newman starting in the 10th position. He's got the Moto Shield Pro onboard camera, and these are some great shots from that front bumper.
And we got Stuart Friesen here. He'll be carrying our helmet cam with Chevrolet onboard camera. So give me some cool views from his spot. Nice to see him not starting on the front row. He'll put on a good show for us.
And Kyle, that's what it's like. I mean, that's just what it feels like. We're going to get on board with defending champion, like we said, Matt Crafton. He's got the Ford onboard camera. And folks at home, these shots are going to be so amazing. How rough this track gets, how close he runs to that outside wall, how tough his vision, his view will be at times. But right now, a clean windshield, a starting spot up near the front. Matt Crafton is, 2 in a row.
Well, we talked about some of those that are here racing for the first time, and maybe the playoffs and the championship doesn't play into their plan, but it certainly does for others. As you see, Matt Crafton rides on the playoff bubble. Only the top 8 make the playoffs, so not only a win, but also just the playoff points, the stage points, and the stage wins, critical for some of these drivers trying to secure their spot and a drive for a potential championship. Ben Rhodes, the pole winner starts from the outside of row 1. Todd Gilliland inside, and we'll race it at the Dirt Derby at Eldora.
Already see guys 3 and 4 wide, 5 wide actually there at mid-pack, trying to get everything they can. You know, this is a tough race, tough to pass. We see Chris Wyndham getting the backstretch wall already a little bit.
That's Wyndham in the 54. USAC champion. It's making another start here in the Truck Series, but really good on the dirt.
Why are you dirt racers in such a hurry?
We're used to 30-lap races. These stages are longer than what we're used to running, so it's easy. You know, it's easy to get impatient. Coming from a short race background, these long races, although it's a long time, you still run hard and you find yourself getting in trouble too often.
There's the 52 of Stuart Friesen, the pick for many down, not just downstairs in the pit area, but I think through the grandstands and maybe even in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, he's so fun to talk to, Vince. Yesterday I chatted with him. He said, all I'm going to do tomorrow is watch this racetrack, see how the moisture is retained in it, how it reacts when the other vehicles race on it. So I'm ready to go racing, have a good mind about what I need to do to be champion of this great event.
That white truck, the 99 of Sheldon Creed, watch him get into the wall here in the upper right. He's the ARCA points leader.
Well, he's one of those guys, Kyle, we talked about was just going to be very aggressive from the word go. It bit him there a little bit. Will that hurt his chances of winning this race?
It's still early on. It didn't look like he got into the wall too bad there, and even if he did, they'll have time to fluff on it some and fix his truck up. But it doesn't look like it slowed him down at all. He's still committed to the top. We see Friesen here on the bottom, Wyndham starting to work the middle, Crafton running the top. So really good racing here so far.
Teams, of course, know, and NASCAR knows that these drivers are going to be getting into the wall, so you're allowed by the rules to beef up the right side of these trucks.
I don't think there's enough beef in Ohio for me to race one of these trucks, Vince. These guys just run right out next to that wall, and it's an art. It's truly an art, the way these racers are able to handle these 3,400-pound high horsepower machines with real skinny tires. The tires aren't big for dirt racing standards, and they just put on a heck of a show.
Wyndham in that 54 with Matt Crafton right behind him.
Wyndham's impressing me so far here. You'd think that you'd need to be up against the wall, up against that dark moisture to get some grip, but he's able to run a lane off and still carry the banking, carry some speed, and pass a couple guys so far, working his way up to second.
Rhodes continues to lead the way. Todd Gilliland, Wyndham, Crafton, Friesen in your top 5. There's a look at Rhodes. Last week's winner at Kentucky, not supposed to be a dirt guy, Hermie, but he's looked pretty good today.
So far, so good, Vince. To me, it's been really interesting how his mindset has changed over the course of the weekend. After practice last night, he said, we are horrible. We've got to do something. We don't have near the grip that we need. After qualifying, he set fast time. He's much more confident. 21 sideways.
The green is still out. Now the yellow comes out as Ben Rhodes, the leader, was coming up on Sauter. Sometimes when they get around, they'll leave the green out if they can fire up and get going again under their own power, but obviously Sauter was unable to do so. Johnny Sauter, our championship leader, brings out the first caution of the night here at the Big E. Back at Eldora for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the Dirt Derby aerial coverage provided by Jegs. What a great view of this special place. What's that track look like down there, Kenny?
Well, Tony Stewart, they heard that I was always down here right where the action was. They put the Kenny gates in. I opened the gates up, and I want to give a shout out to Tony Stewart. We are down here. Take a look how perfectly, this is dirt. This is dirt. Tony Stewart's done a beautiful job. What I noticed is Stuart Friesen right now is my favorite. Stewart's doing a great job. He's mopping the track up. Christopher Bell, what do you got, buddy?
Well, Kenny, down here in turns 1 and 2, it's really, really similar. You can see that the track is black and shiny all the way across until you get to the very top. That's where the 4 and the 41 are both running and making really good time up there. It'll be interesting to see if that stays or goes away.
We're about to find out as this green flag is getting ready to wave for the restart after Johnny Sauter brought out the first caution of the night with a spin. 27 to go here in stage 1.
somebody to watch here early on who's been really aggressive and passed a lot of trucks so far is John Hunter Nemechek out of the LCQ. Talked to him a little bit there during the intermission and sounded like he broke 4th gear, so he might be the only guy working 3rd gear right now, and you know, if these spotters start hearing their crew chiefs, you know, they'll be telling their drivers to try it out.
How's that impact him in regards to his style or where he's going on the track?
Well, his style has been pretty aggressive so far. You know, he had some issues there in the heat race, but in the LCQ, he's able to fall back, get to the lead, and pull away, and he's still moving forward. So he's got a really good truck right now.
And the other competitors can hear that thing turning more RPMs too. So the spotters can hear, but also he can, some of the other drivers will say, John Hunter's doing something different than me, I'm going to adjust.
The visor cam giving you a great perspective for Stuart Friesen as he hunts down the leader, Ben Rhodes. A year ago, Friesen led the most laps here, ended up runner-up. He's been runner-up a couple of times this season on the pavement. He thinks this is his best chance to get his first series win.
How about 4 wide on the half mile? We don't say that very often, do we? That's what they were off turn 4, and there they are again down the back.
Brett Moffitt in that 16, a 3-time winner this season, and there's John Hunter Nemechek in the 8.
Yeah, doing a good job, kind of working wherever he can. Right now, finding an opening. Brett Moffitt pounding the top in the iRacing truck, doing a good job as well. Track's really racy right now. These guys are able to move around, you know, anywhere from the upper half of the track. It's been exciting. You see Todd Gilliland getting the fence down the backstretch.
Crafton moves by Gilliland. That's for 4th.
You talked about earlier, Kyle, when you exit turn 4, it just seems, or turn 2, excuse me, it just seems to narrow up. He got in the wall early in the turn and just kept having issues.
Just trying to find all that grip you can. It's so slick out there, and you see that dark moisture up to the top. You see Ben Rhodes kind of driving away from them. So these guys behind him can see that, and they're trying to push it as hard as he is, and you know, with that comes mistakes.
Justin Haley in the 24. Caution is out, and that's the 45 of Fontaine, who has gone around and brings out the caution for the 2nd time tonight.
He got tangled up down in turn 4, and Johnny Sauter, who's a lap down, he was also slipping and sliding in that crash. See if NASCAR gives Sauter the free pass. He didn't lose his momentum. I think the caution will be because of Fontaine, and Sauter will get back on the lead lap. But darn, when things start going wrong early, it seems like they just keep going wrong.
Logan Seavey, certainly one of the bright young stars in our sport, running top 5. Christopher?
Well, whenever I was talking to Logan Seavey earlier today, as well as his crew chief, Mike Hillman, they told me that they were really good as the track slicked off yesterday. And as you guys can see, this thing is black, shiny, and really slick. And Logan is actually doing a really good job keeping it off of the wall, taking care of his stuff early. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
The USAC National Midget Points leader. Johnny Sauter gets the free pass, back to the lead lap. Restart when we return. Back at Eldora, getting ready for a restart. You noticed something during this caution, Kyle, that
maybe
caught your attention.
Maybe, you know, Bell's down there on the track. He could elaborate on a little bit, but I've seen a few guys down there running lower down the straightaways and spinning their rear tires a little bit, maybe to try and work their rear tires in and get some grip. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been a great question in my head. I've had crew chiefs tell me that it's better to try and keep heat in the tires, and I've had crew chiefs tell me it's better to try and go down in the looser dirt and cool your tires off. So it's going to be interesting to see which one works out better as we go green.
15 to go here in stage 1. Ben Rhodes and Stuart Friesen will restart on the front row. I think Rhodes has end up been the surprise of the day so far. I mean, he has been terrific. Fast qualifier, won his heat race.
No doubt. Yeah, he's been really, really impressive here running the wall. We got Friesen starting on the front row with him here. I think he might be able to, if he gets a good launch, to slide him and clear him, but we'll see. Ben's been solid up top.
And you said this wasn't really a surprise to you because when you raced here, he had a lot of speed that night.
Yeah, Ben, man, he impressed me a lot in 2016 there. I ran behind him a lot of the first stage or first portion of that race, and man, he was aggressive. He was really, really good. We had a cushion that night, and he was running it like a pro. So no surprise here as we got a battle for the lead, but Ben's been really, really good.
Friesen on the inside, challenging for the lead. Rhodes right there on the outside in that green and white 41. And just behind them, the 51 of Logan Seavey making his first Truck Series start. And here comes Chris Windham to get into it.
Oh, he got him.
Oh, Windham got into Friesen a little bit and spins him around. And now we've got...
Oh, we got a big pile up here.
Oh, I think we're going to get away with it, though. Just some spinners.
Yeah, not much damage there for anybody, I don't think.
Caution out for the third time tonight.
52 is probably not going to be too happy, but maybe just a little misjudgment there by Windham into 3. Not necessarily trying to get into him, but maybe trying to tuck in line and just misjudge it a little bit.
He's able to drive away everybody except Cody Coughlin. Cody's currently sitting down in the turn. Check this out. You called it, Kyle. Look at the trust that Ben Rhodes put in Friesen not to cut him off, and Friesen did a nice job diving in the corner, but watch Windham.
Yeah, you see Windham last minute trying to check up, not really expecting Friesen to run that line. Nothing Friesen did wrong either, but Windham just went in there a little bit of misjudgment and definitely turned him around.
A couple of spinners back in the pack, including Sheldon Creed, that kind of put up a block where the other drivers didn't run in to Friesen as he spun. So you can see Matt Crafton and Enfinger doing a nice job. Ryan Newman up high, but then there were spinners behind them that sort of block out. There's Creed going around.
A lot of fun watching those guys drive from the back here on this this restart.
He's riding on board with Friesen.
That's a scary feeling right there.
You know the world's coming, right?
Yep.
Running for the lead and get spun. Just hoping nobody runs into you.
Not a lot Windham could. It's not as though on this surface you can just hit the brakes and come to a stop.
And in these trucks too, it's tough. The way the brake bias is, I feel like when you grab a lot of brake to try and get in the corner or try and avoid somebody and you get the pedal too hard, it's easy to lock the front tires up and get plowing tight and maybe get into the wall. So you really got to finesse your right foot for traction, but then also finesse your left foot just to maintain a good balance on entry.
And you also need to make sure you don't make anybody mad so that as the thing comes down to the end, they don't put the bumper back to you.
Especially with as long of a race we have left. Stuart Friesen will definitely make his way back to the front here, and be interesting to see if he retaliates in any way.
What about the strategy? Maybe coming to pit road now and then foregoing a stop at the end of this stage? He's already out of the points. Probably a good call by the team.
Yep, looks like he's coming down pit road. Not sure if we're going to do just damage repair or change tires just to stay out here, but at the end of this stage, but we'll see what they do.
Kyle, they're going to do a left rear shock adjustment and some wedge. They want looking for more. You can see it, left front shock adjustment as well. Opening up the shocks, trying to get more grip through the center of the corner, more forward drive off of the corner. So they're working on the balance. They had initially talked about coming down, doing tires, and staying out potentially for the rest of the night. But then they decided to come in, try this shock adjustment to get to the end of this stage. They'll come back in and work on it some more later, Michael.
Hermie, what are you hearing down there for strategy? Will guys stay out at the end of this first stage? I know some did last year.
I think we're going to see a little bit of both, Michael. I've heard teams say they're going to stay out and run the second stage as well, and I've also heard drivers and crews talking about coming in after this first stage, making changes and staying out at the end of the second stage, potentially to the end of the night, Kenny.
Tony Stewart, this track is incredible. It's perfect from top to bottom. 3 4-wide racing. Could you have planned the track this good?
Well, you always plan for it. That's what we aim for, but sometimes it's hard. I mean, 2 days ago we had half of the infield underwater flooded, so to get it where it is, we got an awesome staff that's doing a great job.
Tony, thank you for a great night. We're coming green, buddy. Vince, we'll just take a watch on the big TV screen here.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a dash to the finish, we anticipate, in the late stages of stage number 1. Logan Seavey on the inside in his first ever truck race, and last week's winner, Ben Rhodes, on the outside. Grant Enfinger going to the bottom.
Chase Briscoe 3 wide on the outside in that 27 truck. Windham filling up the middle.
All over the track, riding at the bumper cam of Ryan Newman.
What about that truck just ahead of Newman, Vince? That's John Hunter Nemechek. Kyle was talking with him before the race and told you he didn't have but third gear. Is that right?
Yeah, it sounded like, there in the heat race, he had issues there getting in the wall, had some toe damage, but also he said it knocked fourth gear out of it. So they've been having to deal with just running third gear the rest of the night, and I think it's paying off for him.
The 27 of Chase Briscoe looking good as well as he's moved inside the top 5, running third. There's the 51, Logan Seavey, 21 years old. Great story, leads the USAC National Midget Championship points. But just a couple of years ago, he had open heart surgery, a congenital heart defect, open heart surgery, able to get back in the race car just a few months later. And here he is, certainly on the rise. And from your neck of the woods out there in Northern California, threatening for the lead here.
Yep, we grew up about an hour away from each other, racing a lot, growing up. And I've always believed a lot in Logan. He's been one of the best drivers, coming up through the ranks, and been doing a good job with Keith Coons this year in the midget stuff, leading points. Had a lot of second place finishes last week and then capped it off with a win. So finally ended Christopher Bell's winning streak too in the midget. That was nice to see.
They're racing for a couple of different reasons here, Kyle. Ben Rhodes is thinking championship. He wants to become a part of our big 3. We've got 3 racers that have pretty much dominated playoff points. This stage win right here gets him another playoff point. But Logan Seavey doesn't even know about that, doesn't care about that. He's all about getting this lead, winning this stage. Rhodes, there's 2 agendas here, getting this playoff point.
Yeah, this is gonna be big for Ben. Being a full-time regular, this playoff point. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of some of your big 3 that might struggle tonight.
Final lap of stage 1. Rhodes trying to hold off Seavey for the stage 1 victory as they come through 2 and head to 3. Rhodes gaps Seavey a little bit. Seavey going to go to the bottom. Ben Rhodes coming off turn 4 for the green and white checkers in the stage 1 win. His 4th stage win of the season. A week after getting his first win of the campaign, Ben Rhodes continues the momentum with a stage win here at Eldora. Back at Eldora, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Stage 1 is complete. Ben Rhodes led 39 laps and was the stage 1 winner. He's been dominant out front, but he was challenged in a big way by Logan Seavey at the end of that first stage.
Seeing a mixed bag, Vince, of racers deciding to pit and some staying out.
And the way this works is the top 16, or the 16 that decide to pit, the first 16 will come to pit road and they will pit first. They will take on service, have 3 minutes to do so. And then the next 16 that elect to pit will come and get their service and have 3 minutes to do so. It's a little different procedure, obviously, than what we're used to in the past in regards to the truck series. So there are others, and of course they'll be stopped while pit service is done.
There was some confusion at the end of pit road, Vince, with the 16 of Brett Moffitt. He wanted to come to pit road, but the official was adamantly waving him past. And now they've said that he can come back to pit road. So there was a mistake, some confusion there.
And with it being a new procedure, it's a little bit challenging for everybody involved, drivers, teams, officials, everyone.
Well, we study the rules. We make sure we understand exactly what's going on. But with the way that they pitted and then not letting guys on pit road and then after that letting others on, I got to tell you, I'm a little confused myself right now.
There's Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes doing a little housekeeping, Herbie.
A little bit of miscommunication between Eddie Traconis and Ben Rhodes. They talked about staying on the racetrack, but as soon as the 41 came to the entrance of pit road, Eddie Traconis said, come down pit road, but he said it too late. Ben Rhodes had already passed the entrance of pit road, but now Eddie seems to think that with who stayed on the racetrack, he's comfortable with this call.
You're always going to second guess yourself, Hermie, when those lined up behind you decide to do something different. But having the cushion, that's what he's talking about, right? Eddie Traconis, he's got to cushion behind him of other trucks that stayed out.
Yeah, you know, it looks like he's got a handful of trucks that have stayed out. So, and tires aren't a major deal here at Eldora. But yeah, you know, I think he's done a great job of running the top and managing that very well with the pace that he's running. So I think he's okay here for this next stage. You know, the track's going to change a little bit, but we just got to wait and see.
Christopher Bell, how about that 51 of Seavey?
I'll tell you what, man, I know the 41 stayed out here, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing on the 51. They're coming down here to do their 4 tires, and I believe that'll be it for the rest of the race for them. So they'll have that track position when they stay out for the second stage. And he says his truck is handling pretty good. He's looking for a little bit more rear grip, just a little bit more forward drive, and he's happy.
A little bit of chaos down here. We're working our way to the one-time Daytona 500 champion, Ryan Newman. Now, I went to Jordan Anderson, his car owner. I said, what type of chassis adjustments are you going to do to Ryan Newman? He said 2 pounds of air out of both rear tires, some chassis adjustments. So, you know, you just don't let it fly. These guys still are doing some chassis adjustments like we do on asphalt. And Vince, I would get up there and get closer to the 3, but I'm afraid it gets a little dangerous. It's chaos down here.
Boy, it is indeed, and you see work being done on both the trucks that are lined up on the inside, these top 16, or the first 16 that came to pit road, and then the next group that came to pit road on the outside lane. And so work being done all over that pit area, and as mentioned before, they've got 3 minutes to do so. Stuart Friesen, who has already come to pit road once after spinning or being spun earlier in the race tonight.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get his 4 tires here, and then, you know, probably stay out at the end of the second stage. And so yeah, he'll be on these same set of tires, same chassis adjustments for the rest of the race. And he'll have to pass some trucks though. You know, he's still deep in the field, got a lot of trucks in front of him that have pitted as well. So he's still, you know, got his work cut out for him.
He came in once before and had a shock adjustment on that left rear, but they did not change tires during that first stop. Well, Ben Rhodes has been about perfect today. He was the fast qualifier, won his qualifying race, and he has been out front and been the dominant truck so far tonight. How about chatting with him, Mike?
See what he's got to say. Hey, Ben Rhodes, it's Michael Waltrip, Kyle, Larson, Vince, all the guys enjoying this dirt race, and it looks like you're having a big time too.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful up here in the lead. I've never been this stressed leading a race. The cushion's blowing off a little bit, and I'm getting as close to the wall to the cushion as I can. But it's just getting really, really slick. So hopefully we can lead this next stage and then come down and get some tires and get some grip back on this thing.
How about momentum? You got that big win in Kentucky, now a stage win. Logan Seavey didn't care anything about a stage win, it didn't look like. He's trying to take that thing away from you. Great job just running an inch off that outside wall.
Yeah, this is interesting. Definitely different. Don't really have any experience at it, but I'm sure it'll really help me for Homestead a little bit later this year. So some really good training.
Right on. Well, have fun. Let me see your feather duster again when you get a chance. That thing's pretty cool.
I hear you. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Michael.
Ben Rhodes has had some frustrating finishes this season. They've had some gremlins that they've had to work through with that truck, but man, his last couple of weeks have been pretty good. His crew chief is Eddie Traconis, and he's with Hermie.
And he's doing some double duty tonight, also changing tires. Now, you called your driver to pit road, but a little bit too late, but you're comfortable with the strategy of staying on the racetrack this time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can hear me there. Yeah, absolutely. We were like evaluating, you know, like I think the lead, I mean, we're just driving away for those guys. I mean, I think we still have a pretty good truck. I really hate to give that track position so early. And the guys that they just beat it, there's no way that they're going to stay out for the next one because the last stage is too long. So I think this was the right call right now. And, you know, that Ford F-150 Green Machine Carolina, it looks pretty good up front.
If we had to do a pit stop under pressure, a normal situation with you changing tires, what are we looking at? How long?
I believe so. I mean, I would like to do it. I mean, we're just having fun after that win and being on the playoffs now. I mean, that's what we get to do now. Relax and enjoy and have fun. And that's what Ben, you know, gains confidence. And we're just like, the whole crew is just having a blast right now.
Kenny Wallace?
Thanks, Hermie. We always want to report on our local heroes. Max Mclaughlin, he went up to the Great Northeast running the big block modifieds. This kid is young. He's running 15th right now. I said hello to him. He looked calm, gave me the thumbs up. Max Mclaughlin, one of the next superstars. So he's in the Great Northeast running the big blocks. We got all types of genres. We got midget racers, sprint racers, stock car drivers. So shout out to Albany, Saratoga. Vince?
Well, Kenny, every weeknight you get the opinion, the analysis, you get it all from the experts. It's the best in NASCAR breakdowns, the biggest names and the hottest drivers. Of course, we're talking about NASCAR Race Hub. You see it weeknights, 6 o'clock Eastern on FS1 with Adam Alexander and Shannon Spake. Got a big weekend coming up. New Hampshire, how you feel about that place, Kyle?
Yeah, it's been a good track for us. Kind of a hit or miss track, really. I've had some good runs there, a couple seconds, I think third maybe, but then also some terrible runs too. So it seems like since they put the VHT down, we've been a lot better. Kind of fits more into a dirt track. The grip changes throughout the race, kind of goes away. You can search around a little bit. So it seemed to suit us and our team very well. So excited about it. We should have a good run.
Look forward to that. There's plenty more left here tonight. Just getting ready for stage 2.
We'll have race day from New Hampshire on FS1, covering the pre-race, getting everybody geared up and ready to go. So
fans, some of them protecting their eyes, others their mouth. They don't want to breathe in all that dirt or take a dirt clot in the face. You got to come protected. There are Ford Track Facts, and Earl Baltus, of course, opened Eldora in 1954. Started out as a quarter mile, actually, when it was built. Tony Stewart purchased it in 2004. Earl Baltus, man, I tell you what, it was fitting that Humpy Wheeler gave the command to start engines, because Earl Baltus was a great promoter in his own right, and just made this a special, special place.
Visionary guy, just could see more than others, and built his jewel here in Ohio. And Tony Stewart has not only preserved the history that this great track has, but he's also built on it and improved every aspect of the track. You can just see how professional it is. The infield fencing that protects the fans from the race vehicles, the beautiful billboards on the back straightaway. They've got a nice media center. Not many dirt tracks, you've gone to them all, Kyle, have a media center like this for the press to be and get the story out about the event.
Yeah, I don't think any have a true media center. Knoxville Nationals will have one, but it's kind of artificial. But man, Tony and the crew here have done such an amazing job to turn this place into probably one of the nicest facilities on the dirt circuit.
Stage 2 with Ben Rhodes outside, Chase Briscoe inside, racing again at Eldora. Wyndham in the 54, Tyler Dipple in the 17, a couple of teammates from Gilliland Crosley, and Matt Crafton up on the wall in that 88.
And look at Grant Enfinger really searching the bottom. They're going to be 4 wide again from some of these front spots.
Love the visor cam view there we had from Matt Crafton in that 88. Look at it. Everybody trying to find a little dirt. Not much moisture to be found out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's about no moisture left in this racetrack, but it's still opening up a lot of lanes. It's really cleaned off. You see there's not much dust up until get to the very, very top. So the clean surface helps for these guys getting grip, getting traction, not sitting on top of a dirty racetrack. So track surface has been good here so far.
Rhodes continues to lead. Dipple in that 17 has been impressive today as well. Young racer getting an opportunity here in the truck with Gilliland Crosley, running right there next to his teammate Wyndham.
What about Austin Hill in that 02 truck, Vince? We interviewed him after his qualifying race. He said, I'm not a dirt racer. Well, you don't run in the top 10 here at Eldora with a competition like this without some dirt racing skills. Austin is doing a great job as you see him dive to the bottom with Myatt Snyder.
Yeah, truck's looking pretty good there. Almost got the Ty Dillon set up in there, almost carrying the left front, but he looks like he's, carrying pretty good gripper on the corners.
Chase Briscoe in the 27 taking advantage of Ben Rhodes after Rhodes gets into the wall.
I think he's got a flat.
Rhodes diving down to the bottom, and looks like, is he going to be coming to the pits to get that taken care of? Yes.
Man, it's really going to kill his race here.
Big blow to Ben Rhodes,
looks
who's
like his
been
tires
the dominant
are up.
one.
Yeah, it doesn't have a flat. He must have done damage to the right front.
Yeah.
Hermie Sadler is there for Ben Rhodes.
Vince, not much talk on the radio from Ben Rhodes since he hit the wall. He just said, coming to you, but we saw him clearly some damage to the right side of the truck. I agree with Kyle Larson. Looks like both the tires have air in them. They're still trying to diagnose the issue with the 41.
Going laps down, though, with that stop. That is critical in regards to Rhodes' hopes for a win here tonight. And watch it.
And I think something broke before he got to the corner. I'm not sure what happened, but he'd been running such a good race up top. It's nuts to see him. You miss the line that bad, so I think something broke on him.
Rhodes has gone back out. And meanwhile, Chase Briscoe leads.
Stuart Friesen's gone nowhere so far since he's gone to the back and pitted a couple times. He's pretty well stuck back there, not making any ground up.
Man, I don't see how you make much ground up, Kyle. They're 2 or 3 wide a lot of the race, and you can see there's Friesen as he battles through that traffic, gives us these great views. You can see how congested things are ahead of him. How do you make moves?
Friesen,
I don't know, you just got to go wherever you can, but like you said, there's not a whole lot of room, but you can make it work.
Friesen back in that 23rd spot. We're going to break, but you won't miss a lap. We're going to keep on trucking from Eldora.
All week we work, and when Friday comes, we all get to raise a little hell.
You've seen the finish after finish after finish. Now experience the full weekend from the start. Off-track action second to none. 900 acres of great parkland and camping, with the wonders of Toronto just an hour away. It's the Chevrolet Silverado 250, August 24th to 26th at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Get your tickets now.
Toyota, let's go places.
Nothing gets a family's full attention like my freshly prepared chicken. The delicious KFC $20 fill-up with 8 pieces of extra crispy chicken and sides will surely get your kids off their phones. And they may even look at you, their loving parent. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
All week we work. We clock in, roll up our sleeves, and get the job done. And when Friday comes, we all get to raise
When they take the green, there will be 10 to go.
a little hell.
Well, you saw it, the side-by-side, the 17 of Tyler Dipple, the 18-year-old, connecting with the 88 of Matt Crafton. They brought out the yellow, and during this caution, Ryan Newman has come to pit road. Crafton has left rear damage as well, so let's take a look at it as they get into turn 1. Crafton on the inside, and
just tried to get, and you saw Ryan Newman come through there late and caught his right front on Crafton. You could tell Dipple wasn't very thrilled with Matt Crafton. He ran up beside him and showed his displeasure, but that's just hard racing. Matt certainly didn't expect Dipple to come down so much and just had contact.
I mean, Dipple looks like he just hangs a left on him and not quite clear low and gets himself in trouble to me.
Dipple was running 4th at the time. I mentioned just 18 years old, the youngest to win a big block modified race up in the Northeast.
This ought to be a good view from our right in front of Newman's truck. Where do you go? Where do you go?
Oh, well.
So much for our camera.
There with the camera.
Oh, man, what do we pay for that? That's got to be expensive.
Kenny Wallace.
Vince, I'm down here talking to the crew chief, Jordan Anderson. I said, what is Ryan saying? He says he feels like something's bent. He can't turn the wheel. So what they're doing is cutting sheet metal away because the right front tire is getting caught in the fiberglass of the right front. As you can see, they're using the Barabond tape. And Ryan's just sitting in there patiently right now, guys. They're trying to get all the sheet metal off the right front tire. Vince?
Well, we've seen issues from several of the big name drivers. Johnny Sauter's been around, fell a lap down at one point. Ben Rhodes, who dominated the stage 1, had an issue after getting into the wall. Matt Crafton has now had a problem, and add Ryan Newman to the list.
Matt Crafton is elected to stay on the track. We saw the damage to the left rear of the 88, but still on the racetrack, just outside the top 10.
Restart when we come back to Eldora. Just taking the green and back to racing here. Stage 2 underway at Eldora after the caution brought out from the Tyler Dipple and Matt Crafton incident. Grant Enfinger in that 98 has been sporty here tonight. That's Wyndham in the 54, and on the outside of it all is the 13 of Myatt Snyder working the top.
The ThorSport trucks here really impressing me. I think as it's slicked off here and moved down the racetrack some, they seem to have a good balance. They're able to run middle of the racetrack off the wall, rotate the corner, and still have really good grip. You see the top two, and Myatt Snyder working on third here. Ben Rhodes has showed his speed early on.
That's an awesome view right there. We saw those trucks trying desperately to get 4 wide. Just options. When you get to the corner, Kyle, it just seems like you try to go where the other guy isn't.
Yeah, the options are narrowing up here, though, as the track looks to be cleaning off. The bottom slowed down. The top is slowed down. Seems like we've got about 2 lanes to the middle of the track now. So getting pretty narrow here, so you're going to have to be aggressive and get your passes in early on in this race.
Well, we saw Ben Rhodes running right out next to the wall, and something happened. Anytime you run that cushion, especially for these truckers that don't race very often, that's a dangerous game, isn't it, running that close to the wall?
Yeah, it can be. Eldora in any race car running close to the wall is dangerous, but he did a good job while it lasted. I'm not sure if he got into the wall at any point to hurt his truck, but it seems like the last 20 laps or so, the track's really changed quite a bit.
Chase Briscoe in the 27 trying to hold off Grant Enfinger for the lead.
The teammates.
One of those ThorSport trucks. Enfinger, of course, all year long, and Briscoe's had his truck prepared by ThorSport for this race.
Duke Thorson's kind of a little bit clinched up right now. Wondering if these two can sort it out without contact. What great racing we're seeing, though. Slipping and sliding, but the truck's pointing mainly in the right direction, and that's probably an advantage for these truckers, isn't it, when they drive more like they do on the pavement? Yeah, definitely. I think this is now when you're going to see your pavement guys or whatever really start to shine. They grew up learning finesse, where a lot of us dirt guys are more committed to charging a corner, running really hard. So as the track slicked up here and cleaned off and moved down, Grant Enfinger's really showing these pavement guys are going to be ones to challenge for the win. Briscoe and Enfinger battling for the lead. Briscoe, a regular in the Truck Series a year ago, won the season finale at Homestead, was also voted the Truck Series most popular driver. Let's go down and check out the track surface update as we see a battle for the lead and Christopher Bell.
Well, as I talked about earlier, the top is seeming to go away. You can see the majority of the field moving down to run that middle to mid-high groove. It's going to be really interesting as the race progresses here to see if that middle groove tackens up, maybe gains a little bit of grip, starts taking a little bit of rubber. It's interesting to see the majority of the field move off the wall.
Kyle Larson, I want to add to what you and Christopher are talking about. So last night I ran my modified, and today I ran my modified. And then you even go back to 3 weeks ago when Scott Bloomquist won the Dream. It seems like Eldora has a little bevel in the middle of the racetrack right now. I laid my right front in there last night and today. Seems like there's speed for some reason at Eldora in any car you drive right in the middle. We watched Shots win the King's Royal here through the middle and on the bottom. So I don't know, seems like Eldora's changing a little bit right now.
Yeah, it seems to me, I've heard they changed the dirt a few years back, and this place has gotten so hard and slick and slow that the momentum and when the track really cleans off through the middle, it's like it gains grip if you can keep your wheel spin underneath you. So these trucks don't have much horsepower, so they don't have a whole lot of wheel spin as is. So I think it's making it easier for these guys to move down the racetrack and run in that part of the track that you're talking about.
Everybody trying to find a spot. Not much room to negotiate.
Where is it, Vince? Those guys can't sort it out. 4 or 5 trucks all under a blanket there. Tyler Dipple on the bottom. He went to the rear. He's got some good speed. See the damage on the left rear of the 17, but is able to make some moves. It's going to go down on the inside of Ty Dillon in that 12 truck. Ty's been struggling a little bit. I just don't think he's got a good setup. We saw that left front tire bouncing on up and down off the road. I think that's keeping him from moving forward.
Yeah, you know, Bloomquist showed that setup didn't work the first year. You know, he was one of the favorites leading into that race, and once he had that setup where the left front was a foot off the ground all the way around the track, wasn't very good. So surprised they came here with a setup like that, but you know, maybe in the future they'll think about that one.
Nice little battle there for 5th between Austin Self and Myatt Snyder. Looks like Self's going to get that spot. He's doing a nice job tonight.
Todd Gillen right behind them. Kyle, as a dirt racer, when a guy leans on you like that, kind of moves you out of the way, do you think, well, that was kind of rude, I'm going to race you back the same way, or is that just part of it?
Well, I think, you know, with fenders on a dirt track like this, you know, not that it's fair game, but you can do it more so. And for sure it still frustrates you, though, and you'll remember it for later in a race when you're around them, and if you need to use the right side of your truck up to get by them. So you know, it's just like I said, the groove's getting narrower. You're gonna have to start using the bumper.
Stuart Friesen, who spun early and has had to march his way back up through the field.
He didn't make much progress early, Vince, but now up to 11th, and I've noticed he's been running the higher part of the racetrack. I guess just because he's got to find some fresh dirt somewhere to get through these guys, and he's making it work. See there off turn 4, nice move. He's got John Hunter right behind him, Matt Crafton just ahead. So I don't think we've heard the last of this 52 truck. I think he's going to still have a shot at winning this thing.
You know, a lot of times here, you know, you see all these guys running lower, and it gets frustrating. You don't want to run down there, and you're trying to, you know, I think Stuart might be up there just trying to clean a lane off. You know, it's starting to get dirty up top. You know, he just wants to clean a lane off to open up another option for him to, you know, try and cruise to the front. But it's just becoming, you know, narrower and narrower. I'm watching these leaders here migrate lower and lower each lap. You know, Grant Enfinger's now, you know, kind of around the inside wall. So it's going to be tough. It's just getting tougher and tougher for anybody to move forward.
Speaking of leaders, Ben Rhodes led for 43 laps earlier. Now he's a lap down after hitting the wall. What's the latest there, Hermie?
Hey, Vince, wanted to follow up on exactly what went on with Ben Rhodes into 41. He told his crew he just overshot the corner, locked up the rear tires, got in the outside wall, knocked the toe end out on the 41, so they need to come back to pit road to fix that. The reason they did not change the right side tires on the 41 is because here at this racetrack, if you change a tire and it is not flat without NASCAR approval, it is an additional penalty. So they did not want to lose additional laps at that time.
Well, and he just went another lap down as Chase Briscoe gets around him.
Logan Seavey up to 3rd now. He's got the freshest tires out of the bunch in front of him. So although he might not get this stage win, he's going to be in a really good spot for the final stage.
And it sounds like a lot of these teams are planning on staying out at the end of this stage. And I don't know how you feel about that. Would you, as a dirt racer, and with the conditions changing like they are, would you want tires or would you want that track position?
At this point, I want the track position. You know, it seems like it's getting faster and faster. The groove's getting more gripped up, so it's going to become harder to pass. So you risk pitting and losing all that track position, and then just getting harder to pass those guys in front of you. So I like the spot that Logan's in. I think he's got the best opportunity to win here late in the race.
Less than 10 to go here in the second stage. Chase Briscoe continues to lead. Briscoe, the youngest driver ever to win in a sprint car, broke the record of Jeff Gordon, but Briscoe says he doesn't feel like his future was ever in the sprint car world. He always thought that getting to NASCAR was certainly going to be his way. Says he doesn't feel like he's really all that good in a sprint car or a wing sprint car. Feels like he's much better on the pavement, but he has been really good here this weekend at Eldora, currently in front. This runs a part-time schedule in the Xfinity Series for Roush.
He's a perfect example, though, Vince, of a guy that should be like Stuart Friesen, a heavy favorite to win this race because of his dirt experience growing up and his experience he's had behind the wheel of these trucks in NASCAR on the pavement. Just kind of gives you the best of both worlds. And Friesen continues to move forward, already up inside the top 10. And I think probably taking a bit of a conservative route to the front. seeing what happens when this stage ends, who pits, who stays out, and then go from there.
Yeah, Friesen restarted 20th up to 10th now, so he scored those 10 positions under this green.
Friesen starting at the top, going back up, going back again. You know, I've noticed a lot of people were migrating to the bottom. Now they're starting to migrate back to the top. So I think that upper lane is cleaned off again, and these guys are being able to carry that momentum around the corner a little higher up the racetrack.
You know, Kyle, and that tells NASCAR fans that tune in for the pavement races that you guys run a lot about a dirt racer. You are constantly searching for the best groove on the racetrack, even when you're on asphalt, because it's how you were raised. It's how you crafted your skills.
Yeah, you know, growing up dirt racing, this is something I think that benefits me a lot when we go to mile and a halves and stuff like that. You know, I'm never, ever committed to one lane, where I think a lot of the guys who grew up pavement racing on your little short quarter miles or half miles are so committed to the bottom, where, you know, I'm never one to not move around. I'm always searching for grip, and it comes from racing tracks like this at Eldora.
Briscoe leading here with 1 lap to go in stage 2, being chased by series regular Grant Enfinger. Logan Seavey runs 3rd, Austin Self 4th, Chris Windham 5th. And the green and white checkers for Chase Briscoe. And good stage points for Grant Enfinger, too. Remember, Enfinger battling Matt Crafton currently for that 7th and 8th position in regards to the playoff standings. So Enfinger needs to capitalize with every opportunity he gets. So a good run for Enfinger, but Chase Briscoe, the stage 2 winner at Eldora. Dirt racing at one of the premier facilities in all America. It's Eldora, the Dirt Derby. It's been a fun night tonight. The track continues to change. Everybody looking for a little groove. What's working best for them? Stage 1 was won by Ben Rhodes. He has since had problems and has gone a lap down. In fact, 2 laps off the pace. Stage 2 was won by Chase Briscoe. And now trucks coming to pit road for service. Some choosing not to, and others will come get a little work, maybe tires, chassis adjustment, whatever they need to make this final stretch run, the final stage, 60 laps.
Better know what you need by now, right, Vince? Whether your strategy that had you stay out on the racetrack and keep some track position like we saw Logan Seavey do, or if it was time to come to pit road for those tires, how much difference will they make?
And if you just joined us and you missed the first round of pit stops, the way they do the pit stops here at Eldora, obviously you can see it, quite different than what they would do at a normal race, a pavement race. Out of the first 16, those that elect to pit come and line up on the left, and those outside the top 16 will pit on the right side and get service. And we'll go downstairs with Hermie.
Vince, really strong stage right there for Grant Enfinger in the 98. This team has been good all year. They've been solid tonight. They spoke briefly about maybe staying on the racetrack, but then Jeff Hensley told Grant, we just cannot give up that much on tires. He is, not surprisingly, looking for more forward drive with this 98. So they're going to put tires on, make a little bit of an air pressure adjustment, and also a wedge adjustment to the 98. Christopher Bell.
Hey guys, I'm down here looking at the 88 of Matt Crafton. It's interesting, I was talking to Matt a little bit this morning, and he said that he really enjoyed the racetrack yesterday. The racetrack yesterday had a little bit more top to lean on. That top has gone away, and now he's struggling with his Toyota Tundra, or Ford F-150 today. So on the other side of things, the 27 car of Chase Briscoe, he really likes the slicker conditions. And now that the top's gone away and they've moved down a little bit, he's really, really strong right now. So I think that the 27 is in really good shape. The 88 needs some adjustments here to get a little bit better.
Christopher, tonight is about your local dirt racers trying to shine. You look at somebody like Kyle Strickler. You look at somebody like Nick Hoffman from Belleville, Illinois. So let's take a look at these grandstands. What makes a dirt racing fan unique? Well, when I look all around turns 3 and 4, these are your hardcore dirt fans. There's seats to sit in, guys. but they don't want to sit in them. They're sitting on the grass. This is what dirt racing is all about. They are a unique group of people. They are not like asphalt people. People like Kyle Larson and you, Christopher, we love this type of racing. We race it 6 out of 7 nights when we're not running a NASCAR race. So tonight, just from me to all my people, my brother Rusty says, Herman, what are you doing running that old dirt car down there at Fairbury, Illinois, or Farmer City, or Brownstown, Illinois? Shout out to all them people that will not sit in their seat. They're sitting on the darn grass. I love dirt racing. Vince?
Well, they have certainly come out and supported here tonight at Eldora, and it is a very unique group, and it is a fun group to be around. And
Yeah.
I know those that go to dirt races and participate in it. It's something special.
Yeah, why don't we check down there with Logan Seavey? He's been doing a good job tonight. We'll see what he's got. Hey, Logan Seavey, this is Kyle Larson up in the FS1 booth. You got me?
If that was for me, I hear you.
Logan, it's Kyle Larson. We're up here in the FS1 booth. You've been doing a good job. You're looking like you're going to cycle out the leader here. Looking like you're race to lose here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I got a really awesome footage hunter right now. Mike Hillman gave us an awesome strategy. We got up there racing the lead a little bit early, and then kind of rode around that stage. It's starting to feel like the track's gaining some grip. That normally means rubber on the dirt. So when you're leading with 60 to go, that's a good feeling. So I got a really fast race truck. Hopefully we can get a clean start here and drive away from these guys.
Yeah, what do you think the track's going to do here? I've seen it kind of migrate down, migrate back up a little bit, and then maybe back down the last handful of laps there. How you feeling like the track's going to go here for these last 50?
Yeah, I think the rubber's starting to widen out, so we're going to get some more race crews. I think that's why you're seeing the lane change. The rubber came in on the bottom, and then now it's starting to widen back up to the outside. So, I'm really liking. I got something figured out down there in 1 and 2, and it's making a lot of speed. So, I feel like we're gonna have a heck of a race here to the finish.
Right on, Logan. I'm cheering for you. Go out there and win one for everybody at Cycling and Red Bluff here. We'll toss it down to Christopher.
Thank you, Kyle. Mike, you've done an awesome job preparing this Mobil 1 Tundra. Thanks. Logan looks like he's going really good. How do you like your chances here in this last stage?
We've done what we need to do. We put Logan in position to win for the last 90 laps. He's just got to stay clean and stay out of the wall and see if we can be there at the end. Kyle knows all about that wall up here in the booth.
Yes, he does. That's for sure.
Logan Seavey had never even been to Eldora before, much less in a truck before coming here this weekend. And I asked Mike Hillman earlier today, I said, what do you tell him? I mean, what kind of, advice can you give a guy like that? And he said, it's really helped him last year, having worked with Chase Briscoe, who was here racing for the first time. He said he felt like that as a crew chief helped him work with the new driver again this year in Logan Seavey. And I'll tell you what, that has been a good combination.
Yeah, Logan probably growing up, he probably never would have thought his first start at Eldora would come in a fendered race car. So he's doing a good job with it. It's hard to say if something like this racing here is going to help him when he comes back for the 4 Crown in a couple months. But definitely helping his confidence, that's for sure. He's had a heck of a season already in the midgets, so it's no surprise to see him up front with all the momentum and confidence he's had this year.
Well, the guy who was the favorite coming into this race, Stuart Friesen, Hermes with his crew chief.
Next trip, Bruce, you left your driver on the racetrack this time. Do you have what you need to go to victory lane?
Well, when we stopped at the first stage break, and after getting spun and going to the rear there, and Stuart needed some help with a few different things, and like all weekend, he's really kind of directed us at what he needs. Makes it a little bit easier for us to adjust on it, and that's what we did at that stage break. That was a plan from the beginning, to stop once and not stop again, and now we got some track position again. He said the adjustments help. So here we are at the front again with the Halmar We Build America Chevrolet. And we just sit back and encourage him and cheer him on. He's awful focused tonight like he is every week. So looking forward to watching the end of the race here.
Vince?
Thanks, Hermie. Mike Hillman Jr. mentioned you being familiar with the wall. What do you think, 150, 200, 300 times you banged it off?
Not this night. Not this night. I kept it out of the wall.
The year before, was it the year before?
A couple years before, I hammered the fence and destroyed that thing. Bobby Pierce, man, that was a good race with him and Bell. I don't get to beat Bell very often, so it was nice to beat him in a truck.
So cool trip, Bruce, if we're going to sit back and watch Stuart go to victory, and I can't wait to watch. I'm the same way. This thing has built so much drama. You got the kid Seavey in his truck trying to get his first win right up front, and then Stuart Friesen, who's been racing with us a couple years and has been so close to victory lane. And what about Austin Self? He's up in the front as well, racing for this victory. Stories, and we knew they would. They've just developed all night long. Chris Windham in the top 5. Todd Gillen racing his way up to 6. This restart is going to be key. If Seavey can drive away, can he hold that lead and get away from him? That'd be interesting to see.
Well, that's the fun part about this race is, you know, we talk about favorites, but I honestly feel like there's never really a favorite. You know, this is such a unique race and unique vehicles for all these guys, so it's hard to pick a favorite.
The final stage, 60 laps. Logan Seavey in the 51, his first ever truck race. Austin Self in the inside, never won a truck race before, and they're in the front as we begin the final stage at Eldora.
Look for Friesen to be pretty aggressive here on this restart. I don't think Logan knows that he'd been running the top there for the most part of that last little bit of run. So we'll see if Friesen can make any ground up. It looks like Logan's pretty solid around the middle level.
That's Todd Gilliland in the number 4, right behind Friesen. He's done a great job today in his first ever dirt race.
What about Justin Haley in that black truck with the yellow trim all the way down on the bottom trying to make ground?
Wow, 4 wide at one point in that stretch of trucks, and it is getting crowded. On board with the visor cam of Matt Crafton.
You said it was 4 wide, Vince, and then it wasn't? Oh, then it was again. This is so fun to watch. Just so much congestion. What do you think as a driver when you see this, Kyle?
You're just looking for any bit of opening you can get. You know, it's tough right here. You'll see Chris try and maybe poke to the outside of the guy in front of him just to find any bit of clear vision, really. So restarts here at Eldora in the truck series are always exciting, and we're seeing it again here tonight.
Crafton back there in 16th, trying to make his way up for back-to-back wins at Eldora, and just ahead of him, Noah Gregson.
And they are getting aggressive, not only up front. We see this battle for second. We've already established how wide and hectic it is in the back, but trucks are bouncing off the wall, seeing way more contact than we did earlier. And that's because of how important this final sprint to the checkered is, getting that track position early.
Friesen trying to secure second, not easily done. There's Strickler up on the wall, banging it with the right rear.
Was that a tickle, Kyle, or was that a little bit more than that?
He's still up there just tickling it. He's earned his nickname for a reason. So haven't got to watch him a whole lot in the modifieds, but anytime I see any highlight reels of him, he's really exciting, throwing slide jobs, running the top. He's a great racer.
How about the tickler, Kenny?
Kyle Larson, you're making me laugh. That looks like you about 3 years ago. First of all, I talked to Kyle Strickler. When he came here, he said he was nervous. He didn't want to mess the truck up. Now, this is the time of the race. He's trying to knock the right side as we see the 41. It's this time of the race where the trucks are going for it, Kyle. They're literally trying to tear the right sides off now. We're coming to the end. Vince?
Well, you got to bang that right side to get it to turn sometimes, to get it to turn or stop the way you want it to.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's never good to hit the wall, but I learned from the second year I ran here, if you hit the wall just right, you know, you can hit it with enough momentum, it bounces you off, points you down the track, and you can carry on. So good racing though here on this restart. You're really seeing these guys that you're finding it's go time.
That's in about the 13th, 14th, 15th positions. Everybody battling for spots, trying to get themselves closer to the front as we come to 50 to go. Still plenty of racing left.
This is the battle for second, and I think these two running so closely together has allowed Logan Seavey to do just what he said he was going to do. When you talk to him, Kyle, he said, if I can get a good start, I think I'll drive away from these guys. The young man was right.
Yeah, and I know he's probably out there driving 10 to 20% easier than the guys behind him, taking care of his tires and still driving away. So he's doing a great job and gonna have the tire there at the end of the race, I think, to give himself a great shot at winning this thing.
Friesen and Self battle for second, but that young man, 21-year-old Logan Seavey, continues to lead. Everybody trying to get a clear view of the finish. we're getting closer to it.
Being a kid is all about freedom. The freedom to play. Freedom of new experiences. And the freedom for all kids under 12 to get into any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race for free. It's good to be a kid.
Bring any kid under 12 to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and they get in free. Visit NASCAR.com/KidsTix to learn more.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
Preparing classic campfire trout.
Say what?
Trout. Trout.
All right. You don't think I need both?
Why does he have that X? Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great selection of SUVs. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, get our best offer of the season. 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash.
Nothing gets a family's full attention like my freshly prepared chicken. The delicious KFC $20 fill-up with 8 pieces of extra crispy chicken and sides will surely get your kids off their phones. And they may even look at you, their loving parent. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
All week we work. We clock in, roll up our sleeves, and get the job done. And when Friday comes, we all get to raise
When they take the green, there will be 10 to go.
a little hell.
Baseball's biggest superstars are on Fox. In LA, one can open the heavens with his bat, while a legend continues to grow. Another has the fastest glove in the West and speed barely visible to the human eye. And in the Windy City, when they strike, thunder echoes out for miles. Major League Baseball, Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox. Check local listings.
Logan Seavey out front at the Dirt Derby at Eldora. Chase Briscoe's led the most laps, and he won stage 2, but currently runs 7th. Ben Rhodes won stage 1, but he had some problems. He's 3 laps down. Seavey continues to stretch it out, working on almost a 4-second lead over second place Stuart Friesen. That is a big gap.
And what lap times that young man is running in the 51 truck. Couple of tenths better than the field most every lap. But I'm telling you, Vince, there's trouble lying ahead as you see Stuart Friesen bouncing through the corners. There's such a heavy pack of traffic that before long, Seavey's going to catch. It'll be interesting to see, Hermie, how he handles that traffic. These guys are 2, 3, 4 wide up there.
Chase Briscoe in the 27, trying to move past the 16 of Brett Moffitt. Got to give a call to the 16 bunch. That team has really worked on their truck a lot. They've made some adjustments. They stayed on the racetrack at the end of the last stage. Moffitt's got some dirt experience early in his career, won some races in the IMSA series and otherwise, but first series start at this racetrack, and they've had a nice, clean night so far, looking to get a top 5. Christopher.
Well, Kyle, I want to get your opinion on this, but every time I've run a truck at Eldora and the racetrack has moved down to the middle of the racetrack, I feel like it's turned into more of a crew chief's race. Which crew chief can dial the most grip into their race trucks? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think he knows the tracks looks like it's been cleaning off here and maybe taking some rubber. It would turn into more of a pavement style race, and I think we've all know about pavement racing. It's more about your equipment sometimes than driver, and I think as it's gotten lower and maybe easier to run around the middle to bottom, that's where you really see who's got the best setup on their truck, whose crew chief has done their homework and prepared a better race truck.
Look what lies ahead for Seavey, though, Kyle. That's the black truck in the middle of the corner there that's catching the back of the field, and these are solid, fast trucks. He's got to be able to gnaw his way through there. It's going to be less about equipment when he gets there and more about how he's able to drive through them.
Got to believe there's going to be another caution before the end, too, that's going to bunch them up and create restart havoc. So a lot of action left here with about 35 to go. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Jegs, giving you some great above track views of this action here at the half mile at Eldora.
Where's that black truck going to go when he catches all these fast trucks ahead? You talked about hectic restarts. I think this is going to be a hectic part of the race here, watching him fight his way through it, Kenny.
Vince, I got a great driving report for all of you dirt racers out there. You're watching Logan Seavey dominate. I'm over here on the back straightaway, right? He's coming off the corner. Sounds like he's running half throttle, maybe 6,000 RPMs. I'm marking for all of you in the booth where he's letting off. Check this out. He is letting off at the Speedway sign, a little past halfway. Doesn't look like he's hardly using brakes. Letting off, rolling in. His truck's got a lot of forward bite. He's a great driver, and he's got a good chassis underneath him tonight. It's incredible to listen to him just hardly press on the grass. Guys?
Yeah, a couple guys I'm watching here, you know, are the ones that had pitted there on that last caution at the end of the second stage. Grant Enfinger and Chase Briscoe. Looking at lap times here now, they're, you know, I know Logan's in a little bit of traffic, but they were consistently about 1 to 2 tenths quicker than he was, you know, even before he got there. So if we happen to see a caution here, look for those guys to give Logan a run for his money.
Well, there's Seavey getting into some of that traffic now as he begins to put some of those at the back of the lead lap, a lap down. That's Dalton Sargent just ahead of him in the 25 truck.
And you can tell how hard it is, Vince, having to deal with these trucks at the back of the lead lap for 2 or 3 laps now. There's Wendell Chavis just ahead. Wendell had peaked his way into the top 10 after a crash earlier today, so nice steady roll for him. And coming just ahead of Chavis is Norm Benning in the 6. Norm's having a good run, lead lap so far. He's not going to be easy to lap.
Justin Shipley in that blue number 80. Cody Coughlin in the 2. Logan Seavey negotiating the traffic. Is it going to bring others into the mix and challenge for the lead? 30 to go at Eldora. Watching some great action here at the Dirt Derby. Eldora as Stuart Friesen in that blue 52 runs second. Chase Briscoe and Grant Enfinger all right there as well, and they're all trying to negotiate the traffic to hope to have a chance to chase down the leader, Logan Seavey. Advantage better than 3 seconds.
What about Chase chasing the bottom there? He was able to swing past his teammate Grant Enfinger. Now he's got his eyes set on Stuart Friesen, and he's been the fastest truck on the track. While Seavey's been negotiating this traffic, they've cut about 2 seconds off his lead, with the fastest truck being that bright orange 27.
I just don't think without a caution, there's definitely not enough time for them to get to Logan. He's still running a good pace through the traffic. They're only, you know, when they do gain, it's only a tenth to a half a tenth. So looks like we got a caution here, though.
Spinners, Tyler Dipple in the 17 involved.
A couple of trucks running inside the top 10, Vince. They were 6th and 7th, and you can see heavy damage to the 17 truck on this crash.
Yeah, that's a second incident involving Dipple tonight, and that's unfortunate because they have been fast, and you mentioned he was well inside the top 10 for much of the evening tonight.
Well, that's a game changer, huh, Kyle?
Definitely a game changer. You know, Friesen, I'd noticed, had found a nice line there, 1 and 2, when he would have had some clean track of running the top, carrying the momentum, and he could run, you know, 20s, where Logan would run same lap times around the bottom, but it'll be interesting here.
Dipple and Austin Self getting together. Coming back for the restart at Eldora. Boy, it's going to be an exciting finish here at Eldora. Less than 20 to go. Going to have a restart. Logan Seavey, the leader. All right, our 2 former Eldora winners, Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Kyle, are you taking the top or the bottom if you're Logan here on a restart?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to just kind of how you get through the gears, but you know, I feel like you see it a lot of times, but the top lane is able to just kind of pin down the bottom lane. But then again, it is getting late in the race here, and Friesen's been so close to win. He might be aggressive here at a rookie driver, first truck race. He might feel like he can use him up a little bit. But what do you think, Bell?
Man, I don't know, Kyle. I definitely don't envy the spot that Logan's in right now. He's got a tough decision coming up. I remember whenever I was leading this race and racing with Bobby Pierce, it seemed like the leader would always pick the top, and then the guy on the bottom would always be able to complete the slide job getting into turn 1. So that's going to be a tough decision. It's going to be interesting to see what he decides.
Christopher, I think I just heard at the very end the word slide job. It was Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2 weeks ago. I said he started marrying the dirt racing fans with the asphalt fans. He yelled out, slide job, slide job. That is going to win this race. They're going to get desperate. I think they're going to dive to the bottom, and they're going to will him to wreck. This is a big race to win. I think it's going to be the slide job. Vince?
Well, it also has brought not just Friesen back into the mix, but also Briscoe and Infinger, who have had very fast trucks here in the final stage.
I think the fastest truck's been Briscoe, and he's sitting on the inside. And if Stuart Friesen goes in there and tries to slide up in front of Seavey, that contact could give the door, open it wide open for Briscoe in that 27.
I feel like Infinger's had the best truck here, and I'm liking the spot that he's in outside second row, you know, and he's going to be able to carry a little bit more momentum than Chase on the bottom. So I'm excited. It's gonna be crazy last 15 laps here.
Well, Seavey chose the outside. The restart is underway. Green waving at Eldora, and here comes Briscoe on the bottom. Infinger is there, 4 wide at Eldora.
That was beautiful. Look at Briscoe. He's committed to the very bottom, drives deep into the corner.
Seavey hanging on to the lead, and there's a spinner, and it's the 4 of Gilliland. Snyder involved in the accident as well, and that's a shame for both of those drivers because Gilliland and Snyder have both had good runs going tonight.
Man, that caution saves Logan a little bit. I know he got clear to lead, but Infinger looked like he was much stronger than him. The one, clean corner they got to run through 3 and 4. So it's looking like it's gonna be a fun run here to the end.
Austin Hill also involved in that, the 0-2.
Let's get back to racing. That was good stuff, wasn't it? They went down in turn
4 wide.
You talked about slide jobs and diving low. That was 4 guys just saying, wherever you are, I'm going somewhere else. And what beautiful racing.
The 2 of Cody Coughlin sits idle as well.
The intensity is just going to ramp up more and more every one of these restarts. These guys in the truck series always so desperate. A lot of these people up front going for their first wins. So, man, 4 wide there on that restart. No contact. That was some great driving by everybody.
And wouldn't you want to give it up for Seavey on that start? He got rolling well. He was able to come with a lot of power off the second turn and grab the lead. Did a nice job there.
Yeah, his background, he's never done any shifting, going through gears. He's a young guy. Every street car he's probably rode in has been automatic. So, been really surprised with how good he's done at shifting. With all the background he's done. So Logan just really strong out front. He's a very cool, calm guy. He's the same way in the seat too. I'm sure he's a little stressed out right now, but he's handling the pressure good so far.
I was talking to him yesterday, and he said, I've run a few stock car races, but mostly just the midgets and open wheel stuff. But he said that he had that experience a bit. This was before he even made a lap in his 51 truck. He said, I think I'll do okay. I think he's doing pretty good.
He was telling me yesterday, he said he was worried just kind of about the things that, you wouldn't maybe think of, shifting the NASCAR rules. He said, once I get out there and drive, I feel okay, but some of that other stuff he's not comfortable with, but he has looked like he has been a seasoned veteran tonight, that's for sure. Logan Seavey, just 21 years old, Sutter, California, drives the midget on a regular basis for a guy you're very familiar with, Keith Coons, Pete Willoughby. What a great organization they have.
Yeah, they do. They've brought up so many great race car drivers through the years, even a long time before Bell and I. So I know Keith and Peter back home, maybe even here, I don't know, but cheering on Logan. He's making everybody in the open wheel industry proud, especially Keith and Pete and everybody back in California. So it'd be fun to see him get a good run in here. He's already had a great day, and see if we can pull off the win.
Just won on Sunday in the midget at Sweet Springs, Missouri. Let's go downstairs to Hermie Sadler.
A lot of talk about the 51, also the 27, very strong, but Grant Infinger trying to spoil the party. You guys are second right here at the end. What kind of advice can you give your driver to try to pull this thing off tonight, Jeff?
I just told him he just needed to get him a really good aggressive restart here. No holds barred. There's only a few laps to go, and it's Eldora. We got to win this thing. So this F-150 Protect the Harvest truck has been really good all night long, and Grant's drove a heck of a race, and see if we can finish it off here.
What do you say when you hear 4 wide at a place like this in your ear?
I just kind of close my eyes and look down. and hope it comes out the other end.
These guys have been solid today. This would be a huge win for the 98.
You heard the crew chief say, I just told him to go for it. Well, he went for it. He was 4 wide. What else you want? And we're going to see that again. I want to go racing. Let's get these babies rolling.
Well, in this restart, as you see, less than 10 to go, and by the time we get them lined up and we go a restart, it's just going to be a mad dash to the finish.
And somehow I feel like you can't count out Brett Moffitt either. You know, he's so good. He's a closer, it seems like, in these Truck Series races. So he's running 5th right now, and he'll figure out a way to give himself a shot there on the front row or anything there at the end of the race to try and get a win. He's had a heck of a year. Great story, too. So look for Brett Moffitt here.
Yeah, such a small team that has put up big results this season. Crew Chief Scott Zipadelli and Moffitt, they've just led that Shiggy Hattori team 3 wins this season.
And what about Matt Crafton? We saw him involved in a crash. He's 6. He's going to start 3rd row outside. I think you got to say that he's got a chance to win this thing for the 2nd year in a row as we hop on board with his Ford onboard camera.
Never had anybody win it more than once through our 5 races, 5 different winners. Crafton would be the first to go for a 2nd time, and it would be back-to-back if he could do it.
Got 1 to go. As great as that last restart was, Kyle, you know, we're just ticking the laps off. These boys are going to be even more desperate.
Yeah, looks like Briscoe here had the position up front, so he'll be on the front row with Logan. They're good buddies, but man, this is for an Eldora win, that golden shovel. Chase, I won't be surprised if he uses 8 wheels here in his turn 1.
Yeah, Chase is hungry.
Adding a lap, what's the situation down there, Seabell?
Well, I got more on that front row. This is really interesting. Logan Seavey actually drives for Chase Briscoe in the open wheel sprint cars. So this is going to be fun to see how the car owner on the inside treats his current driver on the outside.
I'd use him up. I think you got to go for it here. You know, full contact racing on a dirt track, that's allowed. And especially this tight into the end of the race. Look at those fans, got their goggles on. They're wanting to see some action.
Put us in that position. Put you and Christopher on the front row at a restart here coming to 5 to go. How do you race him?
Well, me and Christopher, he beats me a lot, so I'm going to use him up. I want to get that win, but yeah, that's an awkward spot there, the front row. You know, I got the chance before we hired Shane Stuart to run my sprint car. You know, I got the chance to race him quite a bit, and I always ran him harder because I wanted to push him and not necessarily be dirty to him, but be aggressive and make him try harder. And I'm sure we'll see the same here on this restart.
Christopher's mad because he's not going to get a rebuttal because we're going to have this restart. Restart coming. It'll be Camping World 5 to go at Eldora. Seavey and Briscoe on the front row. We're green.
Briscoe with a heck of a jump here. He's easily going to clear Logan. Logan looks like he might be in a little bit of trouble. His infinger is inside as well.
Friesen around the top. Stuart Friesen banging off the wall, trying to get by Seavey, and here comes Infinger on the bottom. And the caution is out as a big crash on the backstretch.
Oh, that's good stuff.
25 is Dalton Sargent. The 15, J.R. Hefner.
Dang, that's where Bell's talking about, you know, it's a tough spot to be in as the leader on what lane to choose. You know, it worked out for Logan the first time, taking the top, got through the gears good. You know, Briscoe has a little bit of fresher tire than Logan. Maybe did a little bit better job timing it and through the gears and was able to clear him easily before the center 1 and 2.
Well, that's just what you were talking about. Maybe the issue of he's never been in a situation of shifting. The more he has to do it, more opportunity for mistake.
Yeah, Chase just timed that really well. Didn't look like Logan spun too terribly bad, but yeah, that's a tough spot for the leader.
Man, that's what I warned you about. It's so easy to clear the slide jobs getting into turn 1 if you're on the bottom. You're just not quite up to speed yet whenever you get to turn 1, and the bottom you're running such a shorter distance.
And watch what happens behind this craziness. Norm Benning around. You saw a lot of damage to the 6 truck. Everybody's moved away from the track. Hopefully we can get right back to racing. See the damage there to the front.
Well, that's the 63 of Strickler. Big hit. Hey, it's not enough that we just go regulation. We got to go overtime at Eldora to determine the winner. NASCAR overtime at the Dirt Derby, with Chase Briscoe and Grant Enfinger restarting on the front row. You see the overtime rules. If they take the white flag, the next flag ends the race. But if they have a caution before they get the white flag, we'll do it again, and we'll do as many overtimes as necessary. Green is waving. Who's going to win it, Eldora? Briscoe on the bottom and Enfinger on top of him, side by side, down the backstretch. Coming to the white flag. Too close to call at the line. It's the last lap at Eldora, and Briscoe and Enfinger are banging doors side by side.
Friesen in the fence off 2.
Through 3 and 4. Who's going to win it at the Dirt Derby? Briscoe nudging ahead. Enfinger coming, and it's going to be Chase Briscoe.
Oh, yeah.
Great finish there. We got him stacking up after the checker. Big wreck into 1.
That was incredible.
Chase Briscoe won the season finale a year ago at Homestead, and his first race of the season this year comes back and takes it again.
Hat shakes all around for Chase Briscoe. What a finish.
That's how you do it, isn't it? I mean, that was clean, good, hard racing. Just door to door. Got tight at the checker just like you would hope.
Yeah, that's stock car racing here on a dirt track. You don't see that much, but man, great finish there at the end.
So special for Briscoe. His grandfather Richard has been a car owner for so long and had so many great drivers drive for him. Jack Hewitt won for him here at Eldora. Steve Kinzer, Dave Blaney, so many good ones. And it means, I know, the world to Chase Briscoe and his family to win here tonight.
The Eldora Dirt Derby never disappoints, does it? It's always great racing, intense action. Hats off to Tony Stewart and the whole staff here that not only prepared that track to make it so racy at the end for these competitors, but also open their arms to all these race fans that are standing on their feet right now, their camera phones up, taking pictures and videos of this great finish of this celebration.
See Logan Seavey, maybe that strategy didn't work out for him quite as well, you know, staying out at the end of that stage there. Really didn't seem like he had the tire there at the end to hang with the guys in front of him, fell back to 8th.
Briscoe hops out of that truck, gets the checker flag, and he's going up top.
He finished 3rd a year ago. This time, he'll climb on top of that truck in victory lane as the winner.
Vince, I don't think one fan has left their seat here at Eldora. All of them on their feet, cheering, just watching an awesome finish to a dirt race.
Well, if they left, they made a big mistake. Because that was some kind of drive to the end. Enfinger gave it all he had, but just got squeezed out at the end. He's with Kenny.
Grant, you had a smile, then your face went serious. Arguably the greatest finish in Eldora history, no doubt. Take me off the corner.
I feel like we had the position on him. You know, we were pretty good right there. He used me up, and I was going for it. He didn't do anything dirty. Just the last lap for a really, really big race. Really wish we could have got a win. Glad Duke and Ryan Thorson got a win, but I really wish it could have been this 98 team. Got to say hey to my wife Michelle back home. She couldn't be here, and man, that close, bumper. It's a shame. It's a heartbreaker here, but really proud of the effort of these guys. Really proud of the truck we brought here. We've had 3 trucks this year that we could have contended for wins. We weren't able to do that last year. We stepped up. we got a few more races to the playoffs. We got to step it up.
Buddy, you were just an incredible dirt racer. Where did this dirt racing skills come from?
We got a lot of friends that have helped me along the way. We got Kelly Kopsky that came out here. I know you know.
He builds my shocks on my race car.
He's really good. And I had some experience there in the ARCA cars there at the Springfield and DuQuoin. But really, biggest thing is we had a really good Ford F-150 here. Man, just hate it.
Hermie, you're in victory lane, buddy.
Here he is, Chase Briscoe, victory lane, Eldora. Man, oh man, oh man. This is 2 in a row for you. Homestead last year, Eldora this year. What a drive back through the pack, but it came down to a 2-lap shootout with you and your teammate, Grant Enfinger. Talk us through what was going through your mind on that last lap.
Yeah, first off, sorry to the 98 guys. I know they're running for a championship and they're our teammate, and I wasn't going to wear him out. I wasn't going to just wreck him for the win. We rubbed, and I definitely let it float all the way to the wall, and I'm sorry for that. That's not how I race, but just means so much to win at Eldora. Growing up being a dirt guy, my grandpa's won here with Jack Hewitt, and this is our Daytona for dirt guys, and this win is for all the dirt guys out there that don't get a shot, because tonight just proves that a dirt guy can do it at this level. So just so thankful that Ford allowed me to do this race. I was begging them about 3 weeks ago to let me do it. It came together at the last minute. So just awesome to get them in victory lane.
You were out front, then you guys came down pit road, put tires on, made some adjustments, but you had a lot of trucks to pass to get back to the front. Were you ever concerned that you might not be able to make it back to the front and give yourself a chance?
Yeah, I was worried to death. I was telling our team manager, Tracy Hines, I don't think I can do it. I think track position was way too big at the time, and honestly, without that caution, I don't even have a chance to win the race. So I'm luckily I started on the inside on that second to last restart, and I found something. I was able to use it on the final restart. So I just can't believe I'm in victory lane at Eldora. This is unbelievable. This is so special to be here.
Chase Briscoe, he wins at Eldora.
Special indeed. 6th different winner. This year it's Chase Briscoe. Great sight. The aerial coverage provided by Jegs. What a view of Eldora Speedway. And what a night, what a race. It was an absolutely thrilling finish. 38 thousandths of a second, the difference between Chase Briscoe and Grant Enfinger. Stuart Friesen was right there for much of the night as well. He finished 3rd. He's with Christopher Bell.
Stuart Friesen, that's 2 straight podium finishes here at Eldora Speedway. What were you lacking tonight to get up there and compete for the win?
We just lacked a little bit of forward drive. We were just all balled up on the right front, kind of all night long. We fought that problem in practice, and we had it decent at the end of practice yesterday, and then, the same issues that we fought, we kind of snuck back up on us in time trials in the heat race. And the guys worked hard, the Helmar team worked hard, to salvage something out of it. Obviously not a win. We came here guns a-blazing, GMS Fab Shop built us a pretty cool dirt truck, and awesome Chevy Silverado. So happy to have a 3rd. We just missed it a little bit. We'll do some homework and hopefully put something together to come back next year.
Knocking on the door of that first win. Back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, he's been runner-up a couple of times this season, finishes 3rd tonight. Got involved in an incident early in the race and had to march back up through the field, but it was clear, even though he says wasn't the best truck, he had a pretty good one tonight.
Yeah, and he's just a kid that you want to cheer for. Kyle, how painful it is to be so close so many times, and people beginning to wonder when you're gonna win. That's a good thing because they know you're gonna, but win is a really difficult thing to deal with.
Chase Briscoe, the winner tonight at Eldora. More from the Dirt Derby when we come back. Back at Eldora, and Chase Briscoe adding his name to the winners list for the Camping World Truck Series this season. He won last year's season finale at Homestead and then makes it back-to-back for him as he runs in the Xfinity Series now. Briscoe also won over the weekend in the wing sprint car at Hofstedt on Sunday, so you got the winning feeling going for Chase.
Been
Well
doing
done.
a good job in all the racing he's been doing. You guys mentioned earlier he thinks of himself more as a stock car racer, I guess, than a dirt guy, and both kind of mixed for him today.
Yep. Let's go downstairs to Kenny.
Brett Moffitt, this is your career year. 3 wins, but let's go back 8 years ago. I'm running my dirt car in Des Moines, Iowa at the fairgrounds. I look up, and there you were running dirt.
Yeah.
You're a dirt racer.
Yeah, I was about 14 years old back then. Let me tell you, it was a lot more fun racing dirt in the IMCA cars. But we had a lot of fun out here tonight. Our iRacing Tundra was pretty good. And thanks to iRacing, I got some experience this week and got to practice and then got to put it to use tonight.
Christopher?
Well, I'm here with Matt Crafton. Matt, you're in 5th here today. The top, or fourth.
Come on, don't take one away.
Another top 5 for you. You had to work through some adversity for this one. Are you happy with that finish?
We're not. I mean, not happy. We'll take it and get out of here. The years past, we've struggled so bad here. They had such a big cushion here yesterday. I could run the top and keep running the top and running the top, build momentum. And when we finally came down pit road and could open up the right rear, we opened up the right rear shock. I think it was like 15 rounds and dropped the track bar a ton. And then the truck was just night and day different. But congratulations to my teammate, Chase, for putting that thing in victory lane. Thor Sport back-to-back here at Eldora. So go on to the next one.
Thor Sport 3 of the top 4 tonight with Briscoe, Enfinger, and Crafton.
Thor Sport's turning it up, aren't they? We head toward our playoff. They've got some good strength and momentum going, and if your teammate wins, it just inspires you to do the same the next week. And Matt Crafton with a couple of top 5 finishes in a row after struggling through the early part of the season. That's a good sign for him as well.
I think a guy who's been a key part to Thor Sport, especially here at Eldora, it would have to be Tracy Hines down there sitting on the right there in the black polo. He's got a million laps around this joint, won a bunch of races, got a lot of knowledge too when it comes to setups and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's helped out these guys a whole bunch.
He's a trucker too. He raced some truck races, and that gives him the knowledge of what those guys need.
And you see that Briscoe adds his name to this distinguished group as Eldora race winners. The Golden Shovel, a unique trophy, getting it from the boss, Tony Stuart. Eldora in the books, and now we set our sights on the tricky triangle, going to Pocono next, and it's always exciting there. Well, pretty exciting last year for Christopher Bell. He was the young man doing the donuts at the end of the day and celebrating as the winner. Who's it going to be this time around?
Our pit reporter does a pretty good job behind the wheel, doesn't he?
Yeah, not bad. It's Saturday afternoon. Chase Briscoe celebrating tonight. He's not in the playoff mix, but this is the way the playoff standings look after tonight. And certainly Crafton, although he sits on the bubble, is comfortable from a points advantage as long as some of those guys below the cut line don't win.
And one of the guys below that line that's eligible is Todd Gillen, and we know he's going to have a fast Toyota in Pocono. So Matt Crafton, while comfortably in right now, is looking straight over his shoulder at the competition to see if he can win before they do.
Yeah, that's right on that graphic doesn't look like much of a race for the playoffs, but like you guys mentioned, Todd Gillen not in the picture, easily capable of winning a race, especially next week at Pocono. So Matt Crafton's sweating a little bit.
You'd almost have to say that Pocono would be the best place for Gillen to win a race. It's a big, wide, sweeping track, not a lot of experience, but when you got a guy in charge like Rudy Fugo, a team like he has, could be a big day for him.
It will indeed. Let's go downstairs, check in one more time, and get some final thoughts from our pit reporters.
Well, Vince, what a great night. What a great race. Great night for NASCAR racing. Great night for dirt racing. All the fans, Kenny Wallace, Christopher Bell, you did a great job tonight. In about 25 or 30 years, you can come take my spot. But
well, thanks there,
what was your overall impression of what it's like in the pits doing this job, and your thoughts on the final of the race tonight?
Well, I earned a lot of respect for you guys down here in the pits. It's tough. There's a lot going on, a lot that you have to pay attention to. And as far as the race, I think we saw another wonderful race at Eldora. I love the Eldora Dirt Derby, and we just saw a bunch of changing track conditions. I think today we saw a track of more what we had at the first 2-3 Eldora Dirt Derbies. It was a little bit different the last couple years. Needless to say, they almost tied at the finish line. You can't ask for much more than that.
We get photo finishes at Daytona. We get photo finishes right here at Eldora, Kenny.
Dirt racing never disappoints, Hermie. And I must say, if there's any doubt about this race, Tony Stewart right now is politicking with the fans. Get on NASCAR. It's time for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series to come here. I had to say that because it's my job. But dirt racing.
I second that. Let's get the Xfinity Series here.
All right. I mean, what a great night,
It was
man.
fun. Good job.
Thank you guys for letting me be on this.
Yeah, it was fun, and you guys did a terrific job. Well done. Well done. Chase Briscoe with that golden shovel, maybe going to take home a little Eldora dirt with him. What was your impression of his performance tonight?
Yeah, Chase was on it there. I think as the track got slicker and slicker, he did a great job of managing the race, not getting too impatient ever. So had a good run there and did everything he needed to do. Was flawless there at the end of the race.
I just love the competition. We saw that battle for the victory, but then 4 or 5 wide in the back of the pack, action all night long, and it never disappoints. We wonder why this is such a big event and why the fans love it so much. The product is exactly why that is.
Indeed, and 6 races here at Eldora, 6 different winners, and Chase Briscoe adds his name to the list tonight. A terrific night indeed. So much thanks to all those behind the scenes of our team that brought us a terrific telecast tonight. Thanks to Hermie Sadler, Kenny Wallace, Christopher Bell downstairs, Michael Waltrip, and especially Kyle Larson for a great job up here in the booth. I'm Vince Welch. Congratulations to Chase Briscoe, the winner at Eldora.